Today's AMA is with the team behind the Ugly People NFT. You know, this project has some crazy looking artwork that you're definitely going to want to see. And on Twitter right now, they have over 40,000 followers, and it's been fun to watch how quickly that community is growing. I also want to remind you that if you want to experience these AMAs firsthand and ask questions of your very own, please make sure to join our Nug Club by picking up a Nifty Nugget NFT on the Immutable X marketplace. If you don't want to miss any of our awesome AMAs in the future, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Follow us on Twitter at NuggetsNifty, and you can listen to our podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
Nuggets is like nothing.
Welcome, Nuggets. Today we bring you another AMA with our friends from Ugly People. We have Harry, also known as 77 Trades. I'm just Andrea. And Matt 87 from the team. So the way I'd like to start is to ask the team to just give us a little bit of background about you guys and gals, and just any experience that you've had in the NFT space prior, whether that be investing and or trading, and how you guys come together and form Ugly People.
Perfect. Yeah, I'll go ahead and start first. So, yeah, my name is Harry, but online my name is 77 Trades. I've been in crypto since around 2016. I got into NFTs around April to May last year, and kind of have just gone full force all in on NFTs in the space together. I'm also an influencer online. I have a crypto/NFT TikTok channel with around 160K on there, and yeah, I'm a college student. That's pretty much what I do. I make videos, but more so right now I'm more focused on being a founder for Ugly People. My role within the Ugly People team is essentially everything to do with external affairs, business development, partnerships, collaboration, name it. I'm in control of all the social media, so whenever you see, any posts on our Twitter or Instagram, I'm pretty much the guy behind the scenes doing all that. And yeah, I'm super happy to be here, and all friends I've made along the way. Not just doing influencer stuff online, but through this project, it's really been a great journey so far.
77 Trades. Apologies, it would have been Matt next, right?
What's up? My name's Matt. I've got background in the Discord space for probably 10 plus years. I'm 34 years old. I was making servers all the way back when it was for like League of Legends and Dota and stuff like that. That's where a big part of my community building background comes from. I grew up with a couple of our founders here in Cincinnati, Ohio. So we have a very strong foundation of trust and loyalty within our team, which I'm finding out is a fairly rare thing in this space. There's not a lot of people that have that kind of bond, so we're psyched about that. I knew Harry from trading options and doing some finance Discord stuff, different servers like that. I've never really specifically dealt with NFT, but certainly traded my fair share of crypto with that. We put this team together last year, and it's just been crazy, wild ride. Everybody's been kind of chosen on this team for a reason, and everybody's been able to just absolutely crush every role that they've got. So, honestly, it's surreal, and never could have imagined how much support, how much community that we've had behind us. It's been like a dream. So we're just happy to be here and talk to you guys a little bit more about where we're from and what we're all about.
It does get a bit crazy when you start to see everyone do all these things for you and be so thankful about everything. It's quite a humbling experience.
Dude, it is very, very humbling.
Yeah, sorry, Crypto, I'll let you continue.
No worries. Whenever. I'm just Andrea.
Yeah, hi guys. So my name's Andrea, and I am a childhood friend of the artist Jorge. We've known each other since essentially before even being born, because our families go way back. I also manage him, and I also provide translation support because he speaks Spanish as his first language. And yeah, so that's what I do for the team. And I'm just going to introduce you guys to Jorge El Nino. He's our artist.
Awesome.
Hey guys, how are you?
Hey.
I'm Jorge El Nino. I'm from Venezuela. I have 31 years old, and I'm an artist for complete time. Yeah, I have like more of 10 years working, drawing cartoons, live cartoons, 3D cartoons, creating characters, paintings, and everything about art. So I'm super excited to create this collection, and then it's my first time in the NFT world. Yes. So thank you so much for inviting to all the group to talk with everybody here today.
Jorge, do you want to go in a little bit on your art background prior to being introduced to the NFT space?
¿Qué has hecho? O sea, algunos de tus trabajos favoritos que has hecho.
Para NFT.
No, antes de los NFTs.
I have all my job. I love my job, so I'm super. ¿Cómo se dice?
Que hables de tus exhibiciones.
Sí, en mi trabajo. I have a lot of exhibitions now. I'm working in an exhibition in August in New York, because I live in New York now for almost 1 year. So I'm working in different platforms about the art, like 3D art or paintings, or I go every year to my conventions for cartoon artists. So it's my special week in the year. So I win sometimes like a best 3D artist, and I'm so glad about this. I work in events and really with different, ¿cómo se dice? Empresas.
Different companies.
Different companies with my art. So yeah, I'm super. ¿Cómo se dice? Ay, se me olvidan. Sorry for my English, guys. I'm working in my English.
Yo entiendo español si te ayuda.
Okay, que estoy muy orgulloso de todos los trabajos que he logrado y que he podido hacer. Tengo 5 años apenas aquí en Estados Unidos y me ha ido demasiado bien.
He said he's very prideful of all the work that he's done. He's been here 5 years in the United States, and it's gone very well for him.
Thank you.
He's being modest, though. He's also he's done some custom shoes for NBA player Enes Kanter. He's also a 2-time Emmy winner with the documentary.
Thank you.
I Can
remember.
He's also done work with Latin celebrity and huge just artist Maluma. He's done custom work for him, and he's won a big competition for a World Poker Tour. He got to design a whole deck of cards for their company. He's also worked with a ton of just Latin celebrities in general. So yeah, you forgot to mention all those wonderful things he's done.
I forget everything. For this, you are here with me.
That sounds fun. I'm pretty keen on teams bringing on the artists. I'm not so keen on when they don't, but I still give them the benefit of the doubt and let them explain their project. Let me ask the team this. So, Harry, you've already identified yourself as the founder, but can you let us know the roles of the remainder of the team, and are there any other founders along with yourself?
Yes, definitely. So there are, well, I definitely classify Jorge as a founder, but outside of Jorge, there's 4 other core founders. I'm one of them. Andrea is actually the wife of one of the other core founders, and that's kind of how we got our connection to Jorge in the first place, was through that connection right there. Yeah, wifey coming in clutch. But the other 3 core founders, excluding myself, are actually all out of Cincinnati, and have been, lifelong friends since day one. And I've known Matt on Discord for a pretty long time now. So that's, how I fit into the equation. But
So, go ahead.
sorry, I was just going to say there's essentially 5 founders, and then we have our entire dev team who we just brought on as well.
So you guys are all friends in the same state for the most part. You reach out to one of your buddies' significant other who's attached
Well,
to
that
this.
buddy is a founder as well.
Well,
Correct.
Actually, this is my favorite story to tell. So back in October, one of the founders, Corey, he's my husband.
Corey.
And he was like, I really want to do this NFT project, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have the perfect artist, and it's obviously Jorge. I told him why. I was like, he has a great brand. He already has an established brand and a great community behind him. He's so talented, and literally everything he touches turns to gold. That's my favorite phrase about Jorge. And so I actually reached out to Jorge, and I was like, hey, we want to do this NFT project, but we were wondering if you would be interested. And he was like, actually, I've already been approached by 6 other people, so I'll have to let you know if that works out. And I was like, no, don't say yes to anybody. You have to listen to these guys. These guys are great. And then he was like, no, I'm already meeting with someone else. So I was like, okay, well, missed opportunity. And then Corey reached out to Matt because Matt is really good with Discord. So then Matt got the rest of the team assembled with Harry and Dave. So then they were all like, you have to get Nina on board. You have to get him on board. So I was literally being the annoying childhood friend, calling him almost every single day. Sometimes at like
every day.
1 a.m. I actually called them at 1 a.m, and Corey had to do like a elevator pitch to him and to have him come to Cincinnati so that the whole team could meet him and he could meet the team and see if he liked what he heard. So finally we convinced him. We flew him into Cincinnati, and we were able to do the pitch for him, and he loved it. So now we're here.
Now I live here.
Okay, and you're boarding. So you're hired. Yes. Queen, can you get me an application? I love people that understand how to get stuff done, which sometimes takes some harassing.
Absolutely. I was like, guys, Nino's going to hate me after this, or he's going to love me. One of those.
Sometimes.
Jorge, thank you for caving in, because you caved in to Andrea's demands. You're here with us now, and we're happy to have you.
Thank you, guys.
So I hear the story. I actually love the story. It's pretty synchronistic to me. I resonate with it. Now, you guys get Jorge to say yes, right? And then what happens next? Do you give Jorge absolute creative control to what the project is going to look like? Is there input as well for...
Yes, I can definitely answer this question. So at the beginning, yes. So right after the presentation, I had already really built out the basic infrastructure of the community we have today before the actual presentation. So we were able to transition into, teasing the actual project relatively early into January. So like within that first week, we like teased the project a little bit on Twitter, and we started getting, a couple thousand members in, and then, Jorge started working on the basic concept for the art, which is really good just right off the bat. And, over time, he's been doing layers and layers, and the community's been growing. We actually started out as a public community, and we went private the same weekend that our collaboration with Antonymn was announced. So we kind of knew that there was going to be a large influx of people because of the hype behind Antonymn at the time. Obviously pre-launch, they were pretty hyped up. So the collaboration was going to get a lot of eyes on the project, and to kind of capture as much momentum as we could from that, we thought it would be a great move to go private that weekend, that Sunday at midnight. And essentially we were right. We had thousands of people join the server that day, and really the activity has, it has been the same since then. And, from there it's just been, exponential. But you're asking about input for the art. The dev team we just picked up, Zerox Studio, they're actually the entire team that did the dev work for Threelanders. And pretty much they're with us, and we're the only project that they're working on all of this month, essentially. So, we're really happy to have them on board. And we actually had a call with them the other day, and they gave some really, really solid input to Nino, because they're obviously NFT vets, and they immediately spotted some things wrong with some of the layering and some of the concepts we were trying to push. But luckily we got through the Jorge, and now he's off to the races working on stuff that we've gotten advice on. It's gonna be great.
I'm liking what I'm hearing. It's an interesting story. The colors are awesome, Jorge, by the way.
Thank you.
I think it is fair to call them ugly people. One of my friends just brought up to me that I fudded the project initially, right? Because I'm one of those people that can sometimes be a little too judgmental from the onset, right? And if something is coming from, let's say it's from left field, right, or a space that I wouldn't expect, right? I'm like, what is that? Get it out of here, right? So they brought this, so he brought the project to my attention, and I was just like, nope, get it out of here. What is it doing? Why is it so big? It's not gonna work at a PFP. But these are my homies, right? So I'm having these conversations while we're doing research on projects, right? And he kept on it, right? And one of the arts that I love the most are the ones that initially off-put me, and then they grow on me, right? Those are literally the ones that I end up being the most fond of. So that's why I'm being fully transparent, because I'm starting to get there with ugly people as far as the art is concerned, right? Because this is super subjective and super arbitrary, but just sharing that for what it's worth. Now, if you could share with the community, so what is ugly people at this stage?
Just as in what context?
As in, someone comes up to you and sees this PFP and goes, "Hey, this looks cool. So what is this project?"
I think if I can swoop in here, really one of the ideas, one of the phrases that we always push around our server is to stay active, ugly, and kind. And really, this phrase kind of started off as just a phrase, and then had become a mantra, and at this point is really starting to become a movement, because it's more about kind of the lifestyle and the thought process of what it means to be ugly and what it means.
I was just about to say that, bro. Sorry to interrupt, but
yeah.
I was about to say this because it's such a great point. If you go up to someone and show them the NFT and say it's an ugly person, right? The beautiful thing about this project is that every single person out there has a different interpretation of the word ugly. And if you go into our channel, into our Discord, we actually have an entire channel with slow mode on and stuff. But the name of the channel is called Meaning of Ugly, and the people and the members go in there and they can type. Some people type a sentence, some people type a paragraph, but it's their definition of ugly. But so it's really subjective to everyone, but it all kind of leads. It all kind of dead ends to the same place, which is our community. And we love to express the fact that the community is just one of a kind, because it's a place, one of the few places in the world, if any, if you're a holder especially, you can go in there and not be afraid of being judged based on how you look, because the entire message of the project, not being judged on how you look, not being judged on how you dress, how you act. It's being accepting of who people are, and we embellish people's flaws, especially within the art, to get that point across, right? And essentially, the NFT is an invitation not only into the ugly people community, but alongside that, El Nino's community. So anything that Jorge does in the future is going to be involved. It's going to involve ugly people.
Yeah. So to end that question, actually, I'm gonna have Nino tell you the origin story for ugly people and how he started to kind of like spread the message around about ugly people.
Yes, when I start to draw cartoons in my little town in Venezuela, I'm the first person working in this area, like with art, live cartoons for the people. So a lot of people is not coming because say I draw ugly, and I say, okay, it's cool, it's a cartoon, but nobody understand me because I'm super excited with everything, with the color, with the part of the face, with everything. But it's my art. I mean, I see everybody in cartoon, and I think it's a good fact about the creative characters because you need to be creative with this. And this moment, a lot of people tell me, "No, you draw ugly, you draw ugly, you draw ugly." So in this time, I say, "Okay, I want to start to give the people a discount for ugly people." So I post this the sign in my book for job in the mall in my town, and everybody's coming to, oh my god, for a lot of people coming and ask me how much is my discount and laughing about, and this means it's really great because help me to be more creative and don't feel afraid about to draw the people like I want, like I see the people.
Yeah, because he just wanted to make it to where it was people were having fun with it, and it was more lighthearted rather than like I'm ugly, you draw me ugly. But now it's just like, oh, okay, like this is funny, this is hilarious. I see my big forehead or I see my big nose. I know I have it, and I'm okay with it. That's what he want. That's the message he wanted to put out there.
I see. Thank you, Ore. I see where the theme started, where your art is being characterized as ugly, and you are intentionally drawing your art the way you're drawing it because you're sick of what you're seeing. So you don't want your art to look like what you're seeing. You don't like the palettes, you don't like the colors, you don't like any of it. So you decide to make what you would rather see. But that birthed a question within me. Is this, I understand ugly people, the theme of it, but is this particular character of ugly people new? Or were you drawing this character then when you decided to look at your art as ugly people?
No, when I create the character, I every time draw the same character like me because I start to create my cartoons. So I use the same way to create the first part of the character. It's like a mask. It's the same way I use it every time for drawing everywhere.
Yeah, so he has this cartoon of himself that he loves to draw everywhere. And so he started with that base, and then he was like, well, what if I put like a different mask on top of that face and just change the mask to fit whatever character I want it to be.
So I think I know what you meant. I'm actually pinging one of the like original ugly people, like in the ugly people AMA chat. That's one of like the original characters from like the discounts for ugly people art exhibition. So they all, I think this is what you meant. The original characters have not had the mask. Like the mask was added, I think, for just this NFT project. Correct?
Yes.
Correct me if I'm wrong, though.
No, that's right.
Okay, good.
Macro Rock, you just are something talented. That's awesome.
We actually, I think, can we share that?
Sure,
feel free.
The collab.
Which one?
one of our creatives just posted his version of an Ugly People Nugget, and it is just
You know the
it's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, that's crazy. We could definitely do something similar if you want.
Yeah. Let's
Well,
get
let
it
me get
done.
into this because this is another this actually this is one of the things we're doing kind of directly after mint. We're dropping an honorary collection essentially. So over time, right, we've already had some insanely just crazy collabs that I'm so thankful that I've had the opportunity to be part of. But with every collaboration we kind of do, with both NFT communities and celebrities alike, we get Jorge to create a caricature of them, and they're actually going to be minted into our honorary collection, which is going to be separate from the original 10K collection. The honorary collection is dropping. I've been saying a little up to a month after mint, I'd say. But it's going to be pretty much an ongoing collection of all of these collaborations we do over time. So we could definitely do something like that for the Nuggets, and give like Jorge a template, and he can do like something cool there, or he can create an ugly person in two styles. He's really good at that. I'll send an example. We did something with Gajira, Crypto Skulls.
I sent that
Yeah,
one.
yeah. Well, I'm gonna send it again. This is what we did with Crypto Skulls. It's kind of like the ugly people style, but as you can see, both kind of art styles are blended into the same NFT.
Bear with me while I scroll down and view it. Yeah, I see it. That's awesome. I like it.
Mm-hmm. So like, we could definitely do something similar, but yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for elaborating on what George was sharing, because yes, you hit on the nose what I was looking to
good.
see. George added more to it that I wasn't aware of, and I also appreciate. Okay, so we got this awesome character that's birthed from Jorge's art, and the way he sees people, right? Now, when you guys decide, okay, let's bundle this up, let's make an NFT project and create a community and share the art with them, do you decide to do any roadmap, any utility, or do you decide to focus on the art?
So my big thing here is when people say utility, especially in this space, a lot of times they're referring to kind of like some cool kind of like Web3 integrations where you can maybe change parts of your NFT, or like breed two together, or like stake it or something like that. Because that's kind of our Jorge's first introduction into Web3, we don't want to bite off more than we can chew, especially on a more art-centric project. And I think that's really important to get out, but that also doesn't mean that we can't have utility that people, would look for and appreciate. For example, Jorge, unlike most artists, in the space, luckily come with, a pre-existing platform. One of the utilities, various utilities, might I add, that are going to come with ownership of this NFT is going to be the chance to interact with Jorge on a much more personal level, get invited to private art exhibitions, get your own caricature done, get your hands more on more of his art, get the canvas version of your NFT. The list kind of goes on, and over time we'll be adding more and more ways for that to become a reality through the project. And to be honest, dude, there's so many ideas we have for you, Lee. And the best answer is like over time they're going to be implemented. But some of the ones I'm kind of more excited for are, the one I just said, and then the second one, which are real life discounts for ugly people. So we're going to essentially be leveraging, ties we have with, other NFT communities, other celebrities, and most importantly, our community of holders to, branch out and bring, bulk kind of deals for various goods and services to the Discord. So essentially, real life NFT holders are going to get real life discounts. So real discounts for ugly people to kind of play off the joke. But we're going to have a whole kind of incentivization system for people who bring deals. But I really like the idea because it's a win-win for both the business and the community, because the community is getting a discount on something they would have had to pay more any other day, and the vendor is getting obviously good business from the community. It benefits both parties, and everyone's happy.
So this would be discounts for your holders on collabs with other artists. Is that fair to say?
It could be anything, dude. It could be anything.
Okay, and I think the first thing I'd like you to elaborate on the thing you said first.
So one of the big, yeah. So one of the easiest things to do with, as far as utility with the artist, is having the NFT act as an access pass. Access to what? It could be a range of things varying from, IRL events, online events, private art exhibitions, private auctions, chances to win more of Jorge's work. Pretty much it gets you really up close to Jorge and gives you the best possible chance. If you're say you're a very big fan and you're a, avid collector of his, ownership of these NFTs, right, will only be able to get you closer to him and his work and allow you to get your hands on it.
All right. Now, as far as what you've shared with the community about what they can look forward to in terms of deliverables, are those the only two you've shared thus far? Like,
No, we actually have a full, in our server, we actually have a full roadmap divided into 4 phases. Obviously merch is on the table, but my opinion on merch, honestly, is like every kind of does it. But I think, there is a place for this, such an abstract style for merchandise. I think it's kind of a no-brainer from us. But people usually look to more than merch for utility. One of the main kind of pieces of utility we're offering is an ugly pass, which essentially is a mint pass. And that will be rewarded to the top 1,000 bidders of the Dutch auction for our public sale when that comes out. And essentially what that does is grant you a free NFT plus gas for every quote-unquote ugly collection we drop after this one. So it's a chance for any serious collectors of Jorge's to kind of capture that future value that we're going to deliver to the space through all the various projects we drop down the road.
So it's fair to say Ugly People will be a series. It won't just be a one-off.
100%.
Okay.
Definitely.
Is there anything else that's on your roadmap that you haven't shared?
Yeah, definitely. There's just so much.
The stage is yours.
I'm just pulling up the roadmap channel.
Have we talked about the percentage to charity?
Yeah, I was just going to say,
definitely.
if I could chime in there. Big cornerstone of our project is, our charitable and philanthropic goals. We are going to be donating a percentage of mint to Venezuelan charity to help families in Venezuela, of course. That will be, a part of what Nino helps decide. But then in addition, we're also donating a significant portion of our royalties to charity. So the idea is that we continue to create a perpetual vehicle, a perpetual pipeline of funds to continually help charitable donations and foundations. So that way, in the future, I know we've talked about creating a DAO type situation.
Yeah,
where the holders of our NFT will kind of sit on a, ugly person board where, we will talk about future donations and what we do with future income that goes to these, charitable donations. And the community will actually be able to help decide what we spend that money on and who we donate it to. And I think that is, for me, having a lot invested in our charitable and philanthropic goals, I am very excited to kind of create a new way for people to connect and kind of talk about, the best way to donate and what to donate towards.
Yeah, definitely charity is a big aspect, but I think he was kind of talking about more so what holders kind of get to look forward to. And I think my best answer to that kind of reiterates what I said earlier, is that we're not trying to bite off more than we can chew, just with the first collection, obviously, because we have to establish ourselves in the space somewhere. So it's very early for the entire kind of ugly brand itself, because we're just, Jorge is just now breaking into Web3, right? And that takes time to create that brand identity and presence in the space. And we don't want to mess up the first collection, right? So, who's to say that, in Gen 2 or something, right? Ownership of that NFT could act as a pass for the ugly DAO we were talking about, or we can implement some cooler mechanics such as, staking or whatever, the trend is at that time. But really, I kind of like relating, how we, all these drops over time. I kind of like relating it to Gutter Cat Gang a little bit. I feel like it's going to end up being kind of similar in that regard, where you just kind of have different, collections within the quote unquote, the gutter gang, kind of series. I think it's going to end up being something similar, but each collection is going to be able to add more and more, utility in the terms people are most, more used to associating the word.
Yeah. I don't want to at all come off like I'm wanting to see more, or like I'm looking to see, at least not presently, what you guys are thinking about for the future. I more like to approach the AMAs like, if no one ever entered the Discord yet, like I want the community to get the ABCs of what's the Discord, which is your roadmap and things of that nature, so that they know right off the bat when they join the community and partake with your members, there will be an awareness of what the project has already laid out that they're doing. So when I'm asking you in reference to the roadmap, it's just so that they know, like, these are the things that you guys have already laid out that you will deliver on in whatever time frame has been stated.
Oh, definitely. And something I preach here is under promising and over delivering. So anything that you see is really just a bare minimum, and we'll be building off of that essentially, because one at least kind of like a roadmap or something, you can't really go back and be like, oh, sorry, we didn't really mean that. That causes FUD. So nothing we put out there is, are things that we're even questioning about. Nothing. But because, it's the first NFT project for, a big potential brand in the space, we want to make sure we hit all of the fundamental aspects right first. But, that does not discount the fact that, there's a lack of utility within the project, and utility in the sense of what most people are associating that word with. But just some of the other things, airdrops, that's easy things that we can implement, like free airdrops to our members. Jorge's Antonymn collection, as it's currently going for 50 ETH online. We're doing something cool with Crypto Skulls too, where their members are going to be able to mint free Crypto Skulls inspired art done by Jorge. We're going to be able to essentially create just a plethora of different works that we could airdrop to holders if we wanted to, right? We could do it on a seasonal basis. There could be so many different, ways that meant the art itself into the space. It's just insane. The amount of versatility we have here is insane. But everything on the roadmap, I'll just read it off. We have our roadmap divided into phases, go for it.
Apologies, Jorge. That ping you just got in the server, that's me dropping my address for the airdrops. Okay, don't forget about me.
We won't forget about
you. Okay. I want to check
that was me. So player one's pinned the roadmap. If anyone wants to go through it as trades, Harry lets us know what they're working on going forward. Apologies.
Yeah. So no, it's all good. So phase 3 is really when some of the real utility will start to get added. The timeline for that really just kind of depends on when we get everything in phase 2, which should at the latest be a month or two after mint. But phase 3, essentially the ugly pass, I covered that earlier. That's a free airdrop that will be given to the top 1,000 bidders of the Dutch auction. that's essentially a free NFT plus gas for every collection we drop down the road. I already went into real world discounts for ugly people. Obviously, we're going to have our fair share of events in real life. You know, art expos, parties, events. You know, throughout the world. Honestly, brand deals. Jorge has his roots pretty much everywhere, especially in the Latin American community. He's actually got a Netflix producer reaching out regarding a movie, which is cool. Wait, is that confirmed?
Don't we have an AMA soon with that?
We do, but anyway, yeah, we're gonna be looking to partner with major brands. I'm actually talking to all of YSL, the record label right now. So that's just one of the I can't really get into that too much right now because I can't really say, but there's some really cool things we're looking to do. And that's another kind of thing I want to touch on with the Honorary collection. It kind of shows it's going to be a thing that we add to over time that shows not only the strength of our community, but how far we've come over time. And depending on who is featured in that collection, that could speak to some future utility if they could do, or if they do anything within the Web3 space. So like we're doing one for Steve Aoki. If he wants, he could give a 50% off discount for ugly people holders for his tour ticket or something. That could be something we do for something like that, which would be really, really awesome. Philanthropy, community ideas brought to life. Obviously, the community is the heart of the project, and a lot of the ideas we've got come from community suggestions, and I'm assuming that's going to remain the case post mint. So we're listening. Go for it.
It sounds like you've graciously offered Nugs some sort of honorary collab. If that is the case, we accept. Yes. And we'd love to collab with you and work with you to realize that.
Perfect. That's amazing to hear. So yeah, that piece will actually get featured in the Honorary collection I was just talking about. There's a lot of big names on there already, and it's just going to grow as time goes on. It's going to be an ongoing thing as we grow as a community, and that's the beautiful part about it. But yeah, kind of back to the roadmap. Airdrops. Yeah, that's kind of it for phase 3 actually, and then phase 4. That's kind of when we've hit all the bases as far as fundamentals and building a strong foundation for a project, and that's when we can attack things like really going into the metaverse or trying to expand on some sort of DeFi utility within NFTs. The point is though is that we're really paving the way just for a lot of growth overall. A lot of NFT projects start out trying to do something fancy, with DeFi or, staking, real NFT utility, right? And unfortunately, a lot of them mess it up. We're taking our time here, making sure we hit, all the fundamentals for a generic NFT project, and then we can shoot for the moon once we have the platform and the community backing.
Well, good for you guys. It seems you've got a pretty strong team of people that work well with each other and trust each other. At least I hope that's the case. It's definitely what you've shown our community, and you've gotten an outstanding artist. Shout out to Jorge.
Thank you so much.
I won't tell Harry and Matt what you said about them in Spanish because you didn't know that I spoke about that. You didn't know I spoke Spanish. I'm not gonna put you out there like that.
Okay.
No, it was only nice stuff that he said. What I'm gonna start doing now is I have more questions, but I also want to start touching on some of our community's questions. We have NN Mobius 452 who says, "Attract, what is the price per mint and what is the supply? Does Whitelist have a different mint price?"
So supply, we can pretty much guarantee that's a 10K collection. As far as pricing, our dev team actually prefers we don't really talk about it. In the past, I've said 0.2 for Whitelist, but now it's really just comes down to market conditions and what maximizes, whitelist benefit for the whitelisted users. I can pretty much guarantee that it's going to be below 0.2, but it's probably going to be above 0.1, so somewhere within that range. I can't really give an exact number yet, though.
Hey, so this is Corey Donovan. This is one of the founders, and I'm on the technical team. I just wanted to chime in to help kind of respond to this. We're working with the studio, and we know we've got a few more weeks out until we kind of can really solidify on numbers. It's mostly because we're trying to understand the market conditions at the time. It's a really volatile market, and so we want to make sure that we are pricing within an accurate range that is acceptable to anybody within the space. When we launched this project, the price of Ethereum was half of that of what it is today. So a lot of the numbers that have been floated around are outdated. So I just wanted to specify that as it goes for the date, the time, the pricing, this information is coming very soon and is contingent on the work we're doing here to finalize the art and the user interface design of the website.
Awesome. I think I see what you're doing there, Corey, which I appreciate. If I'm correct, at why you jumped in at that particular moment. I will share this. So is there anybody on the team, and whether there is or there isn't, it's no biggie, just more curiosity for what I'm going to say next. Is there anybody on the team that in the last 3 months has been an active investor and or trader?
Yes, I definitely.
Yeah, that's a lot of the team.
Okay, so then we should be aware of the market conditions the last month.
Right.
And I've had the opportunity of monitoring in the last 2 weeks at least my homies, give me a number if I'm wrong, and you're in the ugly people chat, tag me. But I don't know, at least 10 to 12 mints that I could have personally partaken in the last 2 weeks, and about 90% of them have failed. The space has loudly said that they are, at present moment, what I'm calling a bear. They've said that they are anti anything more than 0.1. Again, this is not a end all be all, and it's not a one size fits all, right? Because we have cyber brokers and we have this new GNS shop, right? Both of those were more than 0.1 mints, but three landers, right? Well, three landers is a little bit out of the range. Three landers was still a little bit of a bullish market, but definitely cyber brokers, definitely GNSS, they were more than 0.25 and they were successful. But it's important to note that those are the exceptions of the rule. So I think it's important for a team to know that if you're going for that, you are saying I am the exception to the rule, because the market will not support it right now. Exactly,
which is why we've been very cautious about publishing numbers with the new studio in mind. And again, when we launched this project, we had figures that were speaking to the market at that time, speaking to people's experiences with Dutch auctions at that time. And with the new studio, a big value prop that comes with this studio is that they're technical advisors on not only just how this thing's built, but how we kind of understand our audience and market. And they're just pros at this space, right? So they've been very helpful in helping us to understand, like, hey, here's what we're seeing in the market today. Here's what we're thinking is going to be best. And so that's why they've specifically let us know we would prefer that we don't talk about exact specs with the community until we get a few more things locked down on our end on the technical side. So that way they can know, okay, we're on track to hit this date for mint. We're on track to know that here's what the market conditions are. And so that's why like that 0.2 that we had originally mentioned at the start of the project, that doesn't make sense today for a like a pre-sale price. Although we haven't announced what those numbers are, it's because we're still waiting for more information to come through on their end.
And that's why Corey jumped in, because he knows that it's not our community. It's pretty much any community that's an active investor trader in the space right now. You tell them 0.2 and they're like, they're crazy. But so I know why Corey jumped in, and I get it. Like, right, ends gotta be met. You guys have a big team. You have a very talented artist. So, man, good luck as far as finding that happy medium between how you adequately compensate your team, your artists, and any expenses that you have to produce this project, and at the same time meet this market that we're at right now that is very unforgiving. When I say to you 90% of those mints failed in the last 2 weeks, that is, I might be modest. It might be something like 95 or 96%. And I only say that because there were some good projects in there, maybe some not so good. There were decent ones. There was pretty much the whole range was in there. Some two very hype ones. I'm not gonna say names. They failed too, and they failed even worse than I thought they were gonna fail. Like less than 3,000 minted. I was like, whoa, okay, the market is where it's at right now. So hopefully that helps you guys. And apologies if it comes off as a lecture.
No,
no,
it's
not at all,
something
not
that
at all.
we're fully aware of, and we know, especially with this studio, they've just been such a great support in knowing, hey, here's exactly what's going on in the market, so that we know what makes sense. Because at the end of the day, we're not, we need to build this not for ourselves, but for the people that are operating in the space, the people that want to buy into the project and support charitable funds. And so that's why we're making sure that on the back end, in what we're doing to build this contract, we're doing it right, and we're timing it as perfectly as possible.
And there was one recently. They had like I think they had a 0.15 mint cost, right? And like my team, we research projects, and we give that information to a known newsletter in the space that that gives their holders content on what projects they could be looking out for, and they when we assess the projects, we immediately go, this project would have been successful, would have been minted out, and they would have probably made all the money that they were looking to make had they just lowered the price by like 40% and come at it at about 0.08 to 0.09, because it would have minted out and they would have made the money off royalties. But instead, they were short-sighted. And what I've noticed is a lot of people don't, and that's why I asked that question of, are there any active investor traders? Because you'd be surprised that the majority of projects that I speak to don't have that on their team, and their advisors aren't that either. So
I'll let Harry speak to this part.
Yeah, so I kind of covered this when I was giving like my little introduction, but
you did.
I'm 100% like involved within the space. I'm in a ton of pretty exclusive alpha groups with the other founders and pro athletes and stuff alike. But part of the reason I was able to do that is because of the following I amassed over the years creating crypto content. But it also kind of gave me that behind the curtain view, that I kind of got to see what was going on, and what other projects kind of these influencers were looking at, and which ones people are talking about, because ultimately those guys are the ones, are some of the most well-connected people in the space. So you're getting a lot of times information right from the source. So anything that really any project that's notable and pops up, pretty much pops up on my radar.
No. I'm gonna take you at your word. You've definitely earned it. And you know what time it is in the space, so I'm confident you will advise accordingly.
Definitely.
So we'll continue with the community questions. Someone called Crypto Track. I don't know who this person is. Might be Court or something. Questions: if you drew something attractive, would that make it a rare and relative uglier in the collection?
Is that Andre? Are your mic's muted?
I'll ask it again in case Jorge's like, what are they talking about? It's just like, if you drew something attractive, would that be a rare in the collection? It's probably a tongue-in-cheek question. I don't know.
Nothing attractive.
I can't do it.
No, you can't do it. Nothing attractive.
Okay.
You can't? No.
I can't do it. I can't do it.
Can't
There
or
you
can't?
go.
Well, can.
Oh, he can. He said he could.
Okay, let's go. So we got some ideas brewing. Let me ask you this. How many of the supply would be whitelist?
2,500, so half.
Half, and the rest of the 7,500 is for the Dutch auction.
No, Whitelist will be able to mint too, likely.
Okay, so 5K and then 5K Dutch auction.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
How much of your whitelist allocation has already been filled?
Around, honestly, I would say just below 2,000.
Okay, so you got a bit there to go. Sounds like what's that, about 20%? Or
I mean, honestly,
yeah, we're saving some
really,
for that home stretch before launch.
We have over the way that we do our whitelist process is everybody fills out an application after they get, our certified ugly person role, and I would just tell you that if we wanted to, we could 100% fill those whitelist spots out today if we wanted to, but we go through every single whitelist application. I go through every single whitelist application myself, and it takes a long time. And we've got over 1,300 backlog whitelist applications. So
how that kind of works is like every Friday, you have to get a role just to even apply for whitelist, and it's super easy to get most of the time, but you have to be engaging within the community. There's no grind, there's no levels or anything. It's all just, no one's there who doesn't want to be there. That's what we push a lot. And essentially we run, like at least like 2 events a day that are planned like on our calendar. We do one in the morning, one in the evening, so we can cover both kind of sides of the world, so we're not leaving anybody out. And winners of those games will either, some of them, if they get lucky, will win the whitelist role directly. Others will win the certified ugly person role, which is the role you need to apply for whitelist. And whitelist applications open every single Friday evening, usually around 5 p.m., and they close every Sunday at midnight. And then after that Sunday, that following Monday or Tuesday, Matt and whoever else will go through the applications, and depending on how many we have left and how many we've already given out that week, that will determine the number of whitelist roles we give it based on the applications that single week, and then the process repeats itself.
I'm confident you can fill it, because I'm confident the Nugget holder base would fill it themselves and would love to mint the F out of it. Continuing with the community questions, NN Mobies 452 asks, the other question is, to me the art looks more like one of ones. Is that's how cool this art is? Are there going to be traits and rarities?
100%. Yeah. So all the sneak peeks that I've sent so far or are in the sneak peeks channel in our Discord, those are all one of ones essentially that are getting randomly dispersed in the collection. But I believe we have we've given a sneak peek as far as to what the generative art is going to look like. And I think that's what I can really knocking out right now. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I can touch on this right now. So one of the first things we did when we signed up in the new studio for development is they also help with the programmatic generation of the art. They look at all of the art and metadata and make sure that the whole rarity system is built. And we had sent over the artwork as it was designed, and it was, although very close, there was just some layers that needed to be combined. There was some DNAs that needed to be added. So we're currently, actually, this is why Jorge is here in town right now. We are currently going through a sprint where we're knocking out some of these last bits of the attributes and traits and DNAs that needed to be completed and understood. And so we had a meeting on Sunday with the studio. They helped to explain and walk through, like, okay, so here's like, this needs to be tweaked, this needs to be changed, this needs to be added. And so again, just huge props to this studio that we partnered with for being such a valuable part of this and making sure that we've done it correctly and that it's built to be a great project. I mean, they helped 3-laners, as you know, reach their goals, and they're doing the same with us. So as we speak, I think Nino, the last I heard, is this afternoon or evening. He completed all of the DNA, all the species, the DNAs, and so we've already got all of the other attributes, I believe, in place. So I think we're right on track.
That's awesome. Can you share with me a little bit of the actual counts as far as how many one of ones? What
Sure.
how many would go ahead?
So yeah, I mean, like, so as it goes for one of ones, we have 100 custom one of ones that are going to be randomly shuffled in the auction, and the studio has built it in a way so that it's going to randomly shuffle. Like, I don't know how exactly they do it, but this is going to prevent people from being able to snipe any of the one of ones, which is really nice. And then as it goes for all of the layers and attributes, one of the things we had originally when Jorge handed off the art is he did an incredible job of creating like, I think it was 58 custom pattern backgrounds. And one of the things which is awesome, but the studio advised us, like, hey, if all of the backgrounds are patterns, that means all of them are special, right? So we need to change up the way the backgrounds work. And so it's minor things that kind of help to make sure that the project has a good rarity scale to it. And as it goes for exactly how many layers, the number has changed a little bit, so I don't have those numbers off the top of my head right now. But I mean, there's plenty.
By any chance, would you happen to know what's the count of traits?
The count of traits?
Yeah.
Not off the top of my head, because some of them had to get consolidated. For example, like the front mask and back mask, we had originally designed to be separate so that those would have, been built so that, like, one of the masks was different than one of the backs. That was one of the things that the studio advised on, like, hey, we're going to want to consolidate those into a single body so that you can create DNA. Because it was originally, when we had started the project, it was all going to be just people, right? And now we've found that, hey, we need to have different species, different DNAs, so that there's an actual rarity scale, so that they're not all just humans built randomly. If that makes sense.
You want to leak some of those species, like one or two?
I cannot.
If you can, I don't know if you're allowed to.
But I mean, I can tell you. I can tell you. There's obviously a human being. Well, okay. I'll just share one, because the community's already seen this in one of the customs. One of the other species will be alien, and I'm going to leave it at that. So there'll be human, there'll be alien, because you've seen that in one of the customs we've posted. But other than that, we're not going to say any more until we review with the studio.
Respect.
Aliens are
and they look incredible. They really do.
Yeah, they look stupid good.
They're looking ugly.
Like, I would just like to say that while some projects have art that looks good in the previews and then doesn't look as good, we're going the other direction with that.
Yeah. They post the dopest ones that they got. Right. Leave you wanting for more when the whole collection reviews.
Oh yeah, promise, over deliver. Yeah, this was definitely something we wanted to make sure we did right. So we definitely want to make sure that each one of them looks fantastic, while at the same time making it clear that there is a difference in the rarities, right? That they're not all special, right? Like, not to say that they shouldn't all be special, but I'm trying to find the best way to word this. Like, there needs to be a difference, right? Like, they can't all be pattern backgrounds, or then they're all the same. So there definitely needs to be some distinguishing attributes between, and we think we've hit a healthy mark.
Yeah, we understand it. Are you dropping this alien one in the chat? Because I'm here.
I can drop. I can drop
it.
We have a custom that's been put out, and that's what it's inspired from. The actual alien that's going to be in the collection looks a little bit more high fidelity, and it's beautiful. It comes in different colors, and
here we go.
I was just looking at it yesterday. It's beautiful.
There, I just sent it.
Let me jump
What
back
chat you put
in.
it in?
There we go.
What chat did you put it in?
Oh no, not that one. Not that one. That was
Oh.
the other alien customs,
Oh,
but
never
no,
mind.
it's not that one exactly.
Which one?
I don't know which one it is then.
Is it this one?
Is that not an alien?
No, it's not that one.
It's like a squid thing. Oh, that one?
I think it's this one.
Yeah. So that's and it
That's
doesn't
crazy.
look like not the one. Yeah, that is a custom, so it doesn't look exactly like that. It looks a little bit more high fidelity in the version that gets programmatically generated. But
Can we
yes,
give them the
it's
high
inspired from
fidelity,
that
Corey?
design.
Can I link the high fidelity?
Yeah. I mean, that's I don't see a problem with that.
So the high fidelity, guys, it's just the background.
I haven't even seen it.
But hold on, let me get in here.
I haven't even seen this. This is some alpha.
Let's go.
I think you must have missed that in the founders chat.
I got it right here.
Oh, Ian sent it in the. Wait, what? Oh,
even Harry didn't see that one.
What?
Yeah.
Game over, dude. This thing's gonna be insane.
Under promise, over deliver, boys.
Ugly. That's some alpha.
And if you can imagine, it comes in different colors and has lots of different ways it builds with the other layers. It's awesome. But you can actually see in that section how that's a solid color background. So yeah, you can see we're working hard over here. We're all just locked away trying to get this done correct.
My back.
You've been sitting on a couch.
My back is broke.
Are they fighting? They're fighting. You got them live fighting.
He's been sitting on a couch doing his art. I don't know what he's talking about. With a little blanket on him too.
Thank God I can draw with my two hands. My feet.
All right. And the last question from the community I see pinned. Mobius, I think this has already been done. I'll shoot it anyway. And then Mobius 452 asks, "Can we see the generative art?"
We have a sneak peek.
Yeah,
I can draw like the first look, but it's probably gonna look.
No, Harry, don't share that. The project the art has changed since then.
Yeah, I won't.
So a lot of the some of those attributes, have changed. So, we care about doing this correctly, which is why we're not just launching like with what we originally had. Right? When Jorge originally created the art, the studio advised us on what to do to improve it and make it even better. So, that example, that was a test on the first concept, the first batch of the art that we did, and we're on batch 2 now. So yeah, I mean we're definitely working hard over here.
I like. Okay. If there are any other community questions, feel free to raise your hand. So that Frozen, because I don't have the permissions right now since we've done some changes, can bring you up. And what I would ask of the team is, if there's anything that you feel that we haven't touched on, that you would like to express about your project and what you want the community to understand about the Ugly People project.
Honestly, it's just so much more than an NFT project. I feel like it's going to manifest itself into like a movement more so than a project over time. I just think our community is that tight knit, and I feel like that's the direction we're going. Ugly vibes only.
Yeah, I think on my end, I don't know if this was touched on at all, but Jorge's got a really unique brand, and that's going to be one of the biggest focuses in our phase 2 and 3 is building out a premium brand of merchandise under the Torrealba brand name. So he's he makes some really beautiful patterned art. He's created patterns and artwork for artists like Maluma and people like Ines Cantor with custom shoes. So that's definitely something that he's found in his audience, his followers, is that they want to own his clothing, and that's why we're going to try to help him develop that company further, offering like exclusive merchandise for holders of the collection.
Did you say Maluma?
Yes.
Maluma.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
he did a custom jacket for
I worked 2
Maluma.
times with him. One time
And
in
yeah.
the last album, he make because he like to try the things like for the planet. ¿Cómo se llama?
Él habla español también.
Bueno, te voy a hablar en español, ¿puedo?
Dale.
Bueno, el último álbum de su último álbum, que era de 7 días en Jamaica, algo así. Estaban buscando un artista que trabajara con material reciclado o con cosas, ¿sabes? Pro del planeta. Y bueno, me buscaron a mí y me tocó hacer todo el background de lo que era la cosa porque no querían que hubiese globos, que hubiese nada, ¿sabes? Plástico, nada así. Entonces me tocó hacer todo como que el background, ¿cómo se dice eso? Donde ellos se toman la foto y todo
Puedo decir background,
backdrop, eso, pero todo hecho con material desechable, todo con mi arte, todo con basura, con cosas que encontrara. Y bueno, y les encantó, quedó súper cool. Y bueno, espero que me llamen para más trabajo siempre. Porque además que todos los trabajos y todas las cosas que yo he hecho antes de esto, prácticamente lo he conseguido a través de mi arte, o sea, por mi arte, por lo que yo hago y solo. Entonces ahora es que estoy trabajando como que en grupo y entonces me siento cómodo con todos con los que estoy trabajando y cómo va fluyendo el proyecto.
Andrew, if you could say the second half, because when I'm translating, if they say too much, it's challenging for me to remember. But the first half, so there's a well-known artist, you could say, an A-list artist or A-list celebrity in Latin America. His name is Maluma. He recently did a video for his recent album. I think it's 7 Days, 7 Nights or something along those lines.
7 Days in Jamaica.
7 Days in Jamaica. For his recent album drop, one of the videos, he was looking for an artist to do the backdrop of in an artistic style, but that everything be used with recyclables. And it was our friend Jorge who was contracted to do that work. And he created the art with everything, all types of recyclables that he could find to create the art for the theme of that particular video.
It wasn't a video. It was actually it was like the release, like a party release for, for the album. So yeah, you were close.
Thank you, Jorge. So send that invite when you're hanging out with Maluma, so I can swing by. So anything else, team? I don't know if there's anything else you'd like to share, Andrea. Feel free.
Yeah, I think one of the other things. I think one of the other things is I don't know if you guys. I don't think we've talked about this, but Nino hasn't seen his family in about 5 years. He doesn't have any of his direct family members. Not his mom, not dad, not sisters. So with this project, we hope to reunite them once again. That's one of the biggest reasons we want this to be successful, because again, he misses his family, and we would love to make that happen for him. That
would be an especially beautiful ending. Well, or sort of. I think the Ugly People story continues as Harry and Matt have so well shared with us.
Another thing I want to go over real quick that I just got a question from in the chat is the intellectual property of the NFT. So you have a really good description on that if you want to go into that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Are you talking to me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, no, so we're licensing CCO, Creative Commons, meaning that obviously you don't, like, by buying the art, you don't own Jorge's artistic intellectual properties, but you own the artwork property and the licensing for that, meaning that when you buy that art, you own the rights to that art. It's distribution, it's manufacturing, it's all of it, right? It's merchandising. You own the rights to the art because you've purchased the art. We're trying to follow the same model as he has in the physical art world, where when somebody buys his art, they own the rights to that art, right? And so that's what we're trying to do here.
I love it. I love to have the rights to my particular holding. Yes, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, if you can imagine,
you would think it was just like a basic thing, but
it's just licensing.
Basic, and I think people think it's very challenging, but no, to just tell people, no, you do not have the rights to the IP, but you have the rights to your particular art, and you can do with your art what you see fit.
Right. Yeah. I mean, if somebody gets one that they're like, hey, I want to put this on a shirt and sell it, that's their right, because they purchased the right to that particular piece. But in like, to that same effect, if somebody were to take somebody else's NFT from the collection and merchandise on that, that person owns that right? Because they own the token, they own the smart contract for that. They can then protect their art. So, it's very similar to the way it's done in the physical art world. Art Niños sold pieces for like $20,000 a pop in the New York art scene. So, and as you can imagine, anybody that spends that kind of money would like to own their art. And so that's why we wanted to make sure that was taken care of.
Exactly.
Jorge, ¿tiene cualquier cosa que...
Aquí estoy.
Sí, ¿tiene cualquier cosa que quieres dejar la comunidad con un pensamiento antes de irse? I'm saying to Jorge, is there any thoughts he'd like to share with the community before he goes?
Bueno, primero quiero darles las gracias por este espacio aquí en su comunidad y bueno, decirles que estamos trabajando muchísimo en que este proyecto no solamente me ayuda a mí, sino que a través de él poder ayudar a la comunidad, especialmente a la comunidad latina aquí en Estados Unidos y también a la gente en Venezuela que lo está necesitando muchísimo. Y bueno, y por supuesto que quiero compartirles todo el arte que tengo que creo que les va a gustar.
Andrea, can you help me this time? I don't want to mess it up. It was so beautiful.
You said you were a great host.
Yeah. So Jorge said he's thankful and excited that you guys gave him the platform to speak to you guys' community, and also he's working really hard trying to make this project so successful, because not only will it help the team, but it will also help. It will allow us to help other people in the community, especially the Latin community.
And back home in Venezuela.
And the people in Venezuela.
Yes, sir.
Harry, any final thoughts you'd like to leave us with?
I mean, honestly, just pop into the Discord whenever you can, everyone who's listening, and you'll just feel the same energy that Nino's bringing to this AMA is what we try and convey throughout this project. And it's always like this within our Discord and our community. So it's an amazing time. Our voice chat's always going too. I'm actually constantly in the voice chat. I've gotten so many comments saying that like we're some of the most active founders they've ever seen in an NFT project, and I just think that should be the freaking industry standard. I don't know how people can get away with not interacting with their own community and expecting a successful launch. So, our doors are always open to, the Nugget fam. And yeah, we just really appreciate you guys having us all up here for real.
We already picked the locks to the ugly people. So you were either going to accept us or we were just going to bum rush the place. Matt, let me know, man. Any last thoughts?
Sorry, I'm looking at the batch of art today. we're losing our mind. I'm looking at something right now that I'm like, oh my God, this is insane. Like, I'm sorry, this is so original. Nobody's gonna have
Good luck making a derivative of this project.
Good luck making a derivative.
We don't even know how Nino thinks about this. I want to go inside Nino's brain. How do you come up?
In August, you can inside.
In August, he's doing like an art exhibit in New York where it's gonna be like 3D.
3D and traditional
traditional art. But he has this vision. Can I tell them? Or no?
No.
No. Okay, never mind.
But it's a head trip. You can tell the name.
The name is gonna be Head Trip by Torrealba, because it's gonna be like a trip inside his brain and his head.
Exactly.
Well, that's my birthday month, so and I am in New York City present.
Oh, come.
You are?
Yeah, come.
Yeah.
Come on out, bro.
Es el 18 al 31.
From the 18th to the 31st, we'll for sure be there.
I don't think I will be in the city in very soon. I'll be moving away, but I'll be coming a lot. So maybe I come in August. I come in August and I visit the exhibition and hang out with you guys.
Please.
Yes, come for
Amazing.
real. Let's meet up over there. We'll definitely be there from the 18th until whenever.
For the opening.
Yeah, for the opening for sure.
It'll give me an excuse to hang out with Bato and a couple of the other New York City Nugs that have wanted to reach out. I want to cap this off by thanking our founder, Frozen. You see him below us. He's been hanging out with us for this AMA. The community always loves when he's with us during the AMAs. I want to thank Channing. He's done an amazing job of bringing us amazing projects such as Ugly People so that the community can get a chance to hear firsthand what they'd be investing in and what kind of team they're investing their ETH in. I want to thank the team from Ugly People individually. Harry, thank you for your work and thank you for stopping by. As well as Andrea, thank you so much. Corey, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jorge, muchas gracias.
Thank you so much. Gracias. Gracias a ti.
Matt,
Te espero en Nueva York.
Claro que sí. Matt, thank you as well for helping to explain to the community your project and what you guys have been working on for the last few months. My Nugget community as well, please thank you for attending the AMA and hanging out and always making it a party. And that will conclude this AMA, Ugly People, hosted by Nifty Nuggets.
Amazing. Well, thank you guys for having us again. It was a great AMA. Hopefully you guys learned kind of the full scope of the project and hopefully where we, want to be in, 5 years from now at the top of this space. So we're excited for, everyone here to be a part of it early on, and let's do it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And Macho Man, I do not sound like a New York Rican. You take it back. Okay, sir?
Shots fired. Yeah, thanks so much, guys. This was great. I had a really nice time tonight.
I'll be in touch. We'll talk collabs. We'll talk all sorts of cool stuff.
Awesome. Can't wait, guys.
If you like this AMA, reminder to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can get access to our future AMAs. You can also follow us on Twitter at NuggetsNifty, and make sure to leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We'll see you all next time.